6 a.m. It's Thursday and you're watching the Weather Network. Thanks so much for being here with us this morning. I'm Rachel Schoutsen, and as we look at the current conditions here, it's only 4 right now in the city of Toronto. It's 0 up in Barrie, and we do see some precipitation moving through. Remember, we were talking about this yesterday, some of the wraparound winds associated with that upper low. And look what we're seeing, sort of a mixed bag of precipitation. That's what's tracking throughout the GTA right now. One thing to note is it's very, very light. Yeah, we're not going to be seeing any accumulating snow with this here. The blue is snow, the pink is mixing, and if you see any green on the map, well, that means just some very light rain. So as we look at this afternoon, notice that some of the rain and mixing is actually going to stick with a few places around the GTA, and that's just because we have some extra lift in these regions here. So over towards Whitby, even down to Niagara Falls. Remember, we were talking about that donut that Toronto sort of lives in here, and you can see here, that's where the dry conditions are going to be. So again, this afternoon, mainly for the morning, but the potential for it to linger into the afternoon, just some light mixing in and around the GTA. What's going to happen though is this area of high pressure wants to push all of this out, and the high is going to come into place. We are going to see some cloudy conditions as we look forward into Friday here, and you can see the potential for some very light showers, and that's as a trough moves through. Now these clouds will clear late in the day, and we're setting you up for a very nice weekend. We'll talk more about that coming up. Well, in this Long Ranger here, we'll talk about the first weekend of December. Hard to believe this is going to feel like December, though. Look at this, Saturday, sunshine and double digits. Yeah, that's what's in the forecast here. As we look at Ontario as a whole, you can really see high pressure dominating across the whole province. To get up to 7 in Kapuskasing at the beginning of December, this is certainly above seasonal here. It's going to look like 9 degrees for the city of Toronto. Tons of sunshine coming into play. As we take a closer look into southern Ontario, places like Barrie, double digits for you. Milton as well, the potential to hit 11 degrees as we look at this weekend. So really, this feels more like the end of October versus the beginning of December. So this weekend, it's the weekend to put up the Christmas lights, pick the Christmas tree. If you have travel to do this weekend, going out to get the Christmas presents, you're looking safe in terms of the roads. We are going to be seeing clear conditions. Now, as we fast forward and look ahead into Sunday, also a great day, but you can see temperatures are just going to be a little cooler, just slightly, but 7 for the city of Toronto. That's still above seasonal. As we look ahead at this weekend and especially into next week, our seasonal norm is going to fall closer to 2 degrees here. So to be at 7, still pretty good. Now let's look at the next 7 days, and you can see temperature wise, we're staying above seasonal, and sunshine, that's certainly going to be in the forecast. And I want to remind you, if you haven't looked at the winter outlook, you can find all of those details online. Yeah, you got that right, Kevin. I've been having a look at the radar. Places like Barrie look like we're seeing a few light snowflakes there and some wet road conditions. We'll be talking about this coming up throughout the show, those wraparound winds with that upper level low. Now, this here is a look at the morning headlines. Above seasonal. Again, yeah, temperature-wise, you can expect to see 6-7 degrees today. Light rain, snow mix for the morning, and also watching for the wet road conditions. We are seeing some flashing lights out on the 401 at Bayview. The 400, you can expect that route to be wet. Same thing with the top end of the 410 as well. Now, current temperatures, this is what we're looking at throughout Ontario. Toronto, 4, Windsor, 2, Trenton at 1. So you can see the heat sort of still in that bubble that we like to call the GTA. 4 degrees, pretty good for a morning temperature here. But as we look at some of that precipitation, you can see it move through. One thing you should note with this, it is very light. If you do get caught in some rain, let's say, it's going to be extremely light showers. Same thing with the snow as well. As we look at the blue here, the blue is the snow. See the little bits of pink that pop up? That's actually some mixing. So a rain-snow mix, and then green, that's just straight rain here. Now, as we get into the afternoon, this will all clear out as well. Places like Barrie, you could be holding on to some overcast skies and a few flurries as well. But this afternoon, the city of Toronto at 5 under an overcast sky, and it's not likely that we will see too much precipitation today. Now, as we look at our almanac here, the average high 3.6, so to be getting up to around 6-7 degrees, we're looking at awesome conditions for this time of year. And as we focus in on Friday here, clearing late in the day. So we are going to be stuck with some of that cloud cover, and then that's going to push out as we look ahead into the weekend. And speaking of the weekend, I'll have a look at that forecast coming up. But first, look at your locals here. This is weather hourly for today. All right, let's talk about the afternoon here. Another nice afternoon in terms of above seasonal temperatures. Yeah, it's another day of this. We are going to see some more cloud cover though. So a cloudy afternoon, overcast skies, 5 degrees for the city of Toronto, and notice some of the precipitation around the GTA. Remember yesterday we were talking about sort of being in that little donut? Yeah, we're going to see that into this afternoon. We will see the winds pick up as well. We could see winds gusting to around 40 kilometers an hour coming out of the northwest. So we'll feel a little cool. The main precipitation here, sort of those wraparound winds, that continues off further to the east. We'll talk more about your forecast into the weekend, but right now, let's share your weather. And now we will share your weather. We love when you capture scenes across the country, especially here in the GTA, and we'll feature them right here on TV. Just use that hashtag on Twitter, share your weather. Okay, this one, the funky clouds. This was in Scarborough. Today in Scarborough, we're going to see a lot more cloud than this. Yeah, the overcast skies really rolling across southern Ontario. A frosty morning here in London. Yeah, it certainly is going to be a little cooler this morning in London as well, and we are going to see those scattered flurries pass through. Frosty morning, part 2. Thanks, Sean, for the double picture here. You can see the animals maybe enjoying a little bit of the cool down, and the golfers enjoying the cool down. Well, it certainly didn't stop these guys. I love this picture. David Hill sent us this one from the Niagara region. Nothing stopping these guys from golfing in December. Michelle, Forest, Ontario, thanks for that. And thank you for being here with us this morning. I'm Rachel Schoutsen, and you're watching the Weather Network. We'll take a look at systems today, talk about Friday, and of course get into the weekend as well, because we're looking at excellent conditions for the weekend. This is what we're looking at this afternoon. So notice the city of Toronto sort of in our bubble. Yeah, we like to joke about that, but that's certainly what we're seeing here. Look at the rain and the snow showers around us, and then Toronto nice and dry. Now we are seeing the wet road conditions this morning, so if you are out on the roads, do bear that in mind. Winds will also be picking up into the afternoon as well. But what wants to happen here is this area of high pressure, you can see it at the bottom of the screen, this wants to come into place throughout southern Ontario. So what we're looking at here, Friday morning, a weak trough passing through. Certainly the potential for showers is there, around 3 degrees, but that's going to push out with this area of high pressure coming into play. We'll see the clouds clear as well late in the day. Today's going to be an overcast day as well, so just keep that in mind too. But Friday morning, okay, we see the rain, and then clearing late, the sunshine will start to build in, and this is setting us up perfectly for the weekend. Yeah, look at this here. As we look at Ontario as a whole, the weekend is excellent. Friday afternoon, Barrie at 6, Toronto 6 as well. And as we focus in on the heat, while the jet stream continues to rise, that warm air pushes in, and what we will see is double digits by the time we see Saturday. Yeah, you got that right, Kevin. And as we look into the afternoon as well, those winds are going to pick up. We could see some wind gusts close to 40 kilometers an hour. Now let's take a look here at our morning headlines. Above seasonal. Again, yeah, another day of this. Also, light rain and snow, this mix for the morning, and traffic moving well. I do want to show you one issue, though, out on the 403 eastbound, just as you're getting past the 401 here. Now, as we look at the current conditions, it's 4 right now for the city of Toronto. As Kevin mentioned, some of that light precipitation starting to move through. And as we look at this afternoon, the city of Toronto at 5. So 5 degrees for Toronto, but around us, we're seeing some cooler conditions, especially up in Barrie, only at 2. And that's when some of that mixing can come into play. We saw the upper level low over our region here, and this is just some of those wraparound winds, and that's bringing us some of this precipitation. Friday as well, a weak trough moves throughout Ontario, and this could bring just some very light showers before a brilliant clear out for the All right, Kevin, we'll look forward to that. A very good morning to you. We are seeing the overcast skies and some light precipitation out on the roads as well. Places like Barrie getting into some light flurries, some scattered flurries in through southern Ontario. Toronto at 4 right now, Barrie at 0. Watch out for some wet road conditions. Yeah, look at the radar here. You can see some very light stuff moving throughout southern Ontario. The pink that you're seeing here, that's some mixing, sort of that rain-snow mix. Let me take you out onto the roads. I want to show you this here. This is the southbound 410. Just as you're merging onto the 401, we are looking at a crash here. If we can head over to that camera just so I can show you some of those flashing lights in the slowdown. Talk about this afternoon here. This afternoon in the city of Toronto, 5 degrees, and we will see a mix of sun and cloud. More cloud than sun, though. Yeah, that's what you can take away from this as we get into the afternoon. And look at the rain and the snow mix that we're sort of seeing just around the GTA. Not for Toronto, but just around southern Ontario here. And yeah, we are going to see some of those spotty showers coming into play. We're seeing them already this morning, so do watch out for some light flurries if you're traveling, let's say, on the 400 or the 410. Now, as we look at Thursday here, these are some of the wraparound winds associated with that upper level low that's what's bringing in some of our morning precipitation. So that's going to clear out, but what we will see into Friday morning, see this bit of moisture here? This is a weak trough that's coming down into southern Ontario, so the potential for some light showers again into Friday morning. But this here, high pressure, this wants to come into play, and it certainly is going to for the weekend. We're looking at a lot of sunshine building. Into Friday morning, though, we will see some spotty showers. Yeah, you got that right. Maybe a little hard to keep that frozen, right? Now, as we look at this here, look at beautiful blue sky. That's what we saw yesterday in Mississauga. Today, some more cloud cover. That's what's going to build through. But for the most part, another above seasonal day. Yeah, that's in the morning headlines. We also saw light rain snow mix just for the morning hours for the city of Toronto, drying out into the afternoon, and tie-ups on the 410, 401, and 403 just in that intersection. I'll show you that camera first here. 10 southbound. That's where you will find the most delays. That's backed up all the way to the 407 now. Okay, let's take a look at the radar, and it's sort of a mixed bag of precipitation. That's what we're seeing throughout southern Ontario right now. The blue is snow, the pink's some mixing, green, that's your rain, and we are seeing really just some light drizzle throughout southern Ontario. The key here is it's very light. It's probably not going to be affecting the drive this morning, but again, we just want to let you know. Okay, let's look at this here. This afternoon, Toronto up to about 5 degrees. Yesterday, the high was 6.9. It was a really nice day throughout southern Ontario yesterday. As we look at today, December the 3rd, the average high 3.2. So at 5-6 degrees, we're certainly going to be above seasonal again for today, and we're going to see that trend continue on Friday and then into the weekend as well. Friday through the morning, we will see some light rain showers with the trough passing. That's going to bring some cloud cover. That's going to clear late into the day, and then as we look ahead, well, lots of sunshine for the weekend and the potential for double digits. A little cold out there this morning, but still above seasonal. Yeah, another mild December day. That's in the forecast here. Some light rain and snow. Yeah, we're seeing that mix around the GTA this morning, and also busy around the routes. Yeah, unfortunately, we did have a couple issues this morning. Good news is those have cleared on the 401 eastbound, but still very slow 410 southbound as you're coming down to that point. Now, before I leave you here, I want to show you our radar, and you can see here current temperatures 3 in Toronto. It's only 0 up in Barrie, and we do have that light mixed precipitation rolling through. Very isolated at this point here, and as we look ahead into the afternoon, warming up to about 5 degrees. That's 2 degrees above seasonal. All right, a very good morning to you. Thanks so much for being with us here on the Weather Network. Kevin Yard is outdoors in Unionville. He's talking about the Old Time Christmas Festival. We'll get to him in a second here, but let's focus in onto Friday morning. We're going to be seeing a trough moving in through southern Ontario, and that's going to bring us some light showers, similar to what we're seeing this morning. Very isolated in nature here. This is a live look at the current conditions. So 7:44 a.m. and it's 3 degrees in the city of Toronto. We really should be more at the freezing mark for morning temperatures for this time of year. And as we fast forward into the afternoon, getting up to about 6 degrees. So that certainly is above seasonal for us. So another above seasonal December day. That's in your forecast today. All right, let's have a look at the radar, and you can see it's sort of a cluster of a lot of colors here right now. You can see the pink is the mixing, so that's a light rain snow mix. We also have blue indicating that it's just lightly snowing, and then we also have some light rain as well. The key here is very light. Yeah, we're not looking at any heavy accumulations in through this morning, but it can be quite slick out on the roads, and that's what we're seeing right now. On the Gardner westbound, just as you're getting to the 427, we have a crash here, unfortunately, this morning. Now, as we look into the afternoon, we're also going to see some light stuff in through southern Ontario, but it's very likely that the city of Toronto will stay dry. Now, for more on your news, here's News in a Minute. All right, Kevin, giving you some ideas to do this weekend. Yeah, certainly a great forecast to be outdoors at these events. Now, this here is a look at our morning headlines. Above seasonal again today. Light rain, snow mix. That's what some people have been dealing with this morning. And also a busy morning on the roads. Yeah, I quickly want to show you what it's looking like out on the QEW one. You're still finding some pretty heavy delays as you travel out towards Morningside through Warden and the 404. All right, let's look at our current conditions here. Toronto sitting at 3 degrees. Winds are at 2. Trenton at 0. So far, it's a little cool this morning, but certainly is comfortable. We have to remember, we're 3 days into December now, and we're still tracking fairly above seasonal. What we're seeing here is very light precipitation in through southern Ontario, sort of hit and miss. Some people will say, yeah, I drove through some misty fog all morning, and others are going to have clear sailing right into work. As we look at this afternoon, Toronto up to 5. As we take a look at our almanac here, it shows you we should be at around 3.2 degrees for this time of year. So to see a daytime high of 5, excellent conditions. The cloud cover will stay with us today and into Friday, clearing late into the evening.
Jingle bells.
All right, Kevin, thanks so much for that. And kids, beautiful singing this morning. I know that the weather and the blue skies like this and the above seasonal temperatures, they're not really getting you into the Christmas spirit. So I'm glad Kevin Yard can help us out this morning. Yesterday, 6.9 for the city of Toronto. Today, a high of about 6 degrees. Above seasonal again. We're seeing a light rain snow mix this morning. Very hit and miss throughout southern Ontario. And we are looking at some busy routes around the GTA. We'll talk traffic coming up here. But I want to show you current conditions, 8:35 a.m. And we're looking at 4 degrees for the city of Toronto, 2 in Barrie. And that's why in Barrie we're seeing a few snowflakes up there. Now this afternoon, a high of 5, generally around 4, 5, 6 degrees throughout the GTA. And before I leave you here, I want to show you this.
Is by blowing its way out.
Chris Murphy, thanks for that, and thank you for being here with us this morning. You're watching the Weather Network. Yesterday was 6.9 degrees in the city of Toronto. Beautiful blue skies. Today, we're going to be just a little bit cooler than that. Windier as well. Yeah, the winds are really going to pick up into the afternoon, gusting to about 40 kilometers an hour, and slightly cooler as well. As we look at our conditions right now, 8:44 a.m., it is 4 degrees in the city of Toronto. And what we're seeing throughout southern Ontario is extremely light precipitation. Some people will say, yeah, I drove through a little bit of drizzle on the way to work, and others it's going to be completely clear for them. And we've actually been tracking this now over the past 3 hours, and it has become a lot lighter, especially when you focus in really just on the core area here of the GTA. So this afternoon, this is what you can expect. More cloud than sun, 5 degrees for the city of Toronto. And with some of the wraparound winds here with that upper level low, we are going to see some mixed precipitation, light showers. All right, now I want to take you to the Old Time Christmas Festival. Kevin Yard is out in Unionville. Good morning, Kevin.
Kids do.
Sounds like a very fun way to spend today, and of course that parade is going to be running all weekend long as well. Okay, let's look at our story here in through Ontario. What we're seeing is this upper low. This is what brought us some showers earlier this week. It's tracking now into Atlantic Canada and bringing quite a snowy system. So lucky for us, we just got away with a little bit of drizzle. But what we're seeing with some of the wraparound moisture with that, that's what's bringing in some of our light precipitation for this morning. And then we will see a trough sink down south just in time for about Friday morning's commute. So this is when we could also see just some light rain showers moving throughout southern Ontario just before high pressure builds in, and we'll be looking at awesome conditions. Before I leave you here, I'll show you this shot of the 401. Overcast skies today, and we're just wrapping up the rush hour. All right, now here's a look at your local forecast.